Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Project Management Video of Knowledge. Through this video of knowledge, we are trying to give you knowledge in the form of small pockets, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and trying to cover one process of PMBOK. There are 49 processes, and it is expected that we will have 49 episodes. Today, we entered into scope knowledge areas. So let me just give you an overview of scope. Scope is what is agreed with the customer. Scope is something that you have to build in the project. Scope is something on which your progress will be measured. If you deliver the scope, you are delivering the product. If you are not delivering the scope, you are not delivering the product. Now, scope has entirely different value in predictive environment and entirely different value in agile environment. In predictive environment, scope is fixed. In agile environment, scope can be variable, time and cost is fixed. So in predictive environment, for which PMP exam is approximately 90 to 95%, you can expect 190 questions from predictive environment, or considering project manager is working in the predictive environment. So in scope, we plan scope management. In this process, which we'll study today, we will plan how the scope will be done. Then we collect, sorry for that. In plan scope management, we plan how the scope will be managed, how the requirements will be corrected, how project scope statement will be written, how WBS will be created, how dictionary will be defined, how scope will be maintained and baseline. And if you need to change something, how you can control scope, how you basically limit scope creep, and then how you validate the deliverables in validate scope. So that's all about scope management. This process considers what needs to be done and how it must be done in the best possible way. In the plan scope management, we are developing the plan, how this project will be defined, validated, and controlled. In collect requirement, we are documenting and managing the need of stakeholders. In defined scope, we are developing the detailed scope of project and product. Very important. We are working on project scope as well as product scope. So we are combining all this scope under one umbrella. We are in create WPI. We are basically dividing the deliverables and work into smaller, more manageable components. In validate scope, we are formalizing the acceptance of completed deliverables. And of course, we are controlling scope creep, and we are ensuring the process of monitoring the status of the project and product scope and managing changes to the scope baseline. So all these processes are being done in the scope management process. So you need to understand how the project and product scope is defined in predictive as well as agile. Because in agile, we will not have a detailed schedule. We will have a product backlog. Product backlog, in order to understand if you're working in a predictive environment, product backlog, you can compare it with your work package or work breakdown structure. Product backlog is a prioritized list of all the work. Product owner has prioritized the list of work. So similarly, in which you have work breakdown structure, you can compare it with that. Just as an analogy to understand it in a better direction, to understand in the way that can help you to clear your exam. Because it is very important to go into the framework to understand it according to that domain. So let's just go from the notes and have a review about the project scope management and specifically how we can follow this scope management processes. Okay, so how we manage the project scope management. We have all these processes: plan, scope management, control scope, collect requirement, validate, create WB, WBS. Okay, then we move to the real thing. Now this diagram, I really love this diagram. The customer explained us in this way. The team designed it in this way. but the customer really wanted this thing. So this is important in scope that you understand what the customer requested. Maybe utilize prototype to show your customer what the real thing is. Now, plan scope management is a process of creating a scope management plan in all management processes. From here, plan scope management till plan stakeholder management, you will always get a one management plan. In this special process, we are getting two management plan: scope management plan and requirement management plan. Scope management plan tells us how we are going to manage scope, and requirement management plans tell us how we have to collect the requirement and how we have to manage them. So plan scope management, it's a process of creating a scope management plan that document how the project will be defined, validated, and controlled. It figures out what works you will add and what is out of scope. ITTOs of all management plans are similar. Similarly, like project management plan, we have the same ITTOs. Project management plan, charter, OPA, EF, expert judgment, meeting, data analysis, alternate analysis, scope management plan, requirement management plan. So all these inputs we already know. All these tools and technique we already know. Let's see just the output because outputs are important here. Scope management plan, it is basically to prepare a detailed project scope statement. It enables the creation of WBS. It enables how the deliverables will be approved. And requirement management plan tells us how requirement will be collected. Requirements have to be unambiguous. I would say invest. Requirements have to be independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, scalable, and testable. These are some of the characteristics that you need to know how requirements must be maintained. And finally, how the requirement must be traced. I hope this has added value to your PMP. I hope you have understand what is a general overview of the plan scope management and how this can be done. Stay tuned for next PMBOK, and in the next episode we are going to see how requirements are collected. We will study in detail about this process. Thank you very much for listening.